restraint at times, because he's modeling something that I think a lot of progressives and leftists also need to do, which is like learning how to talk to people for the sake of enriching and like spreading knowledge versus dominating and browbeating them and showing them that you're right and they're wrong. And what this shows us is that these men who might seem intractable on certain topics can be reached with the right messenger. My prayer is that a lot of these shouty men podcasts see the success of Joe Budden and try to find other legit scholars to chime in, to kill these echo chambers that these dudes don't realize they're in, and burst some bubbles with real knowledge, not just stuff you heard or saw on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Shout out to FD Signifier, one of the intellectual black people that I watch on the YouTube. I just happened to be on his channel and he came out with a video speaking about Marc Lamont Hill's presence on the JBP. I've been seeing a lot of people on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to YouTube speaking on Marc Lamont Hill's presence on the JBP. Clearly JBP, or Joe, has a voice that reaches all of us. And now the other side is starting to chime in. Joe already alluded to it when the flat earth shit happened. Apparently all the views accumulated got over 10 million views. That's viral. And people are still speaking on it, saying that Marc Lamont Hill is over here showing Ish how to be an intellect versus pseudo-intellect. And I've heard it before, but the way FD broke it down, I was like, oh, okay, that's what that means. I could be a pseudo-intellect. I'm not an intellect, but pseudo-intellects still have intelligence. It's just you can't really tell them much. They feel like they know everything until somebody steps in the room that actually does know everything or more than them. My retort to that, because this is what I said initially, he just said it way better than I ever could. Marc is doing a great job of holding back and basically not berating them for everything that they're getting wrong, which is in essence what I said initially. But I said it in a way dumber version. I said he got to dumb himself down. This is what I meant. You got to hold yourself back. You got to let people shine. And my biggest question to Marc, because this is a big deal what y'all are doing. It's a big deal. There's not many niggas, because I'm a nigga, that will watch these type of spaces. I don't watch Marc Lamont Hill debates. I don't watch political pundits. I don't watch CNN, MSNBC. I don't pay attention to that shit. I know I should, which is why this is a big deal. If you could bridge this gap between the niggas and the intellects, a whole lot of change could happen. This is a really, 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 really big deal. But I don't want you to goof it up. And I feel like it's about to happen because I would react how Ish is reacting. I said this 3 weeks ago. If Marc kept coming at me the way he was coming at everybody, trying to assert his dominance as far as being an intellect is concerned, I would ignore him. And for the past 3 weeks, what have we been saying about Ish? He's shutting down. He looks grumpy. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. Well, here's my question. Well, not necessarily a question, but here's my challenge to you, Marc. I want to see if you could get Ish back into being Ish. Because the way you're going to connect this gap is showing Ish that he is an important, integral part of the JBP. Because unfortunately for you, if you were to get Ish to be frustrated enough to leave because you're that much smarter than him, Joe would lose viewers and it would lose the mission that you're on entirely. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all guys, I don't see Marc staying here for more than 2 years. Marc came in here with a goal and he's far exceeding his expectations already. So instead of the 3 years that I thought he was going to be here initially because he started off so great, I think it's going to be 1.5 years. Marc has a different goal in mind. He's trying to get the backing of a lot of black people so he could throw himself out into the sphere and do whatever he needs to do as far as being a politician is concerned. I see Marc trying to get way up out of here. but he needs the congregation behind him. And he's receiving that from the JBP, whether you admit to it or not. He knows what he's doing. There's a plan. I don't want him to be the reason that other co-hosts leave before he departs, though, because then everything that he's working so hard to achieve, and he's achieving currently, he will lose in the blink of an eye, because people will look at him, and instead of it being satirical, they'll look at it like maniacal. They'll look at it like premeditated, like, oh, this was a game plan the entire time. It started off with the basketball game with Ish. I keep alluding to this game. Marc said it himself from the outside looking in. Ish is the B, Mike. Okay, Marc has surpassed Ish as the B, Mike. Now everyone tunes in. They want to hear what Marc has to say, which is a great thing. And eventually you'll be able to get your shit off more so than Joe. It'll still be his name in the podcast, but we'll tune in more so for you than anyone else. But you have to find a way to bridge that gap. You got to get Ish back on or off the fence. You have to get Ish back in a positive light. Not with us, with himself on the pod. Ish has to be comfortable speaking to you, because if y'all two have a dialogue, a continuous dialogue, then the intellect and the pseudo-intellect, y'all will be able to fight or be the voice for us over here in the internet world. And I'm not saying anything as far as I agree with the flat earther shit, but there is a lot of shit that they say that I agree with. And instead of just outright dismissing what it is that doesn't make the earth flat, give me reasons why. And here's how I can equate this, and I'm sure FD could explain this way better than I'm about to, but here, I'm going to try it anyway. I learned while raising my son over the years. My son used to skip school all the fucking time. Still to this day he does. And me as a parent, and I was bad as hell growing up too, I used to skip all the time. But early on, when my son first started skipping, I'd be like, son, you can't skip school. You have to go to school. School is important. And I would just speak on the academic aspect of school and why he needs to go to school, instead of connecting with my son and showing him I failed at this too, and there are consequences that can occur from this. So when it comes to that flat earth shit, instead of just outright saying this is wrong, come to my level and tell me why it's wrong, and then you can explain why the earth is round, as opposed to just telling me the earth is round. I got around to my son by saying, son, I used to skip too, but it caught up with me. The truancy officer came to my mom's house. I got in trouble. My mom could have gone to fine or gone to jail. That's what they made it seem like when it was happening at the time. Everything trickled down. It wasn't just me that I was affecting. I was affecting my mom. I was affecting my dad. I was affecting my house, because now the police are looking at the things that I do, all because I was missing school. I couldn't play basketball anymore. So all your sports shit is fucked up. And I went through this. So that's why I'm telling you not to skip. Not just because you can't skip school. I want you to go to school. You need to go to school. I had to relate to my son. And now I said he's skipping, but it's because he's going out of state for basketball tournaments and they're excused. But before I was able to connect with him, everything I was saying was going in one ear and out the other. And that's what I see is about to happen with Marc Lamont Hill when it comes to Ish. And unfortunately, nobody else has the type of personality that Ish has, that he was able to connect with the audience with. So you can't have these debates with anybody else, because you're not going to have these debates with Joe, because it's his namesake. You never bite the hand that feeds you. And I'm not saying Marc can't get it on his own. It's just he's on the Joe Budden podcast, so he's not going to bark at Joe. He'll get his shots off at Joe, but he's not going to make Joe look like he made Ish, or make him feel like that. But at the same time, Joe is in a pseudo-intellect. He'll let people that are smarter than him teach him things. And unfortunately for Ish, I'm placing all the blame on Marc, but it's because I feel that Marc has a better grasp of this and could get you in check, as opposed to you getting yourself in check. Because we've been watching you do the same shit for 2-3 years. But still, the census says you're the one we come tune into outside of Joe. Still, you're still second place. even with Marc Lamont Hill here, people are still speaking on you and how grumpy you are. You could leave. So, I don't know. But it's very interesting that Marc Lamont Hill was able to get every side of the spectrum to see that he is bringing a great service to the JBP. I just don't want it to cause any more dissension. They've already caught on to your quote-unquote game. It's not about the game anymore. Now you got to reel them back in. What is the art of war? What does that shit say? You want to be the right-hand man of the leader, the concierge, or however you say that word. And I feel like Marc can do that. But you're not supposed to overstep your boundaries. Just treat everyone up there, and everyone, I'm really just talking about Ish. Treat Ish like Joe. Make Ish feel powerful again so y'all can have great dialect and we can actually progress this pod forward. Because you're the missing piece to do that, sir. And ain't even hate on my end. It's just, I want you to connect more and more and more and more with the niggas such as myself. Because the intellects are on your side. They show me every time I speak about you that they're here riding with you. Okay, now just get the other side on and let's see where you could take this. Because I know you're in game, sir. I know you're in game. And it's working. It's working. But you can't blow up the JBP before you leave. So it would be curious to see what he's able to do with this. I appreciate y'all as always. Like the video if you like the video. Let's have a debate on this one, or a discussion, not a debate, because I just want to hear y'all thoughts on this. What do y'all think the importance of Marc Lamont Hill is on the JVP, and what that could further lead to political debates, or just expanding our horizons as JVP listeners and a part of the audience? But like I said, as always, like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rock it. You already know how I appreciate you. Y'all stay tuned till tomorrow. Got a new episode coming out. See if we can get some juice. Y'all stay safe out here. Peace.